So I have let go a lot.
Our artisans, they need to do 4 years of training to be able to manufacture a Kelly bag. This that you've just seen, the perlage, you need to be very skilled and very, very good.
It was my first time shopping at Hermes, and let me tell you how it went.
We got a lot of requests, do Hermes next. And that's why we're here in the Highland Park Mall.
Made in Italy, made in China, or maybe made in Chile. Oh yeah, that should be a thing, by the way, because some brands get real creative when it comes to made in.
But I don't think it's over.
Some of Hermes products are made in China. Towels are from Fuyue in Shandong. They also make products for Chanel and IKEA. Beddings are from Yue in Shandong. Men's shoes are from Shachi in Shandong. Tableware are from Gaochun in Jiangsu.
No one, and I mean no one, saw this coming. Katy Perry just filed an $800,000 lawsuit against Hermes, and the internet is in absolute meltdown. We're talking about the Katy Perry, pop queen, fashion icon, and front row royalty at Paris Fashion Week, dragging the most elite luxury brand on the planet into court over one jaw-dropping accusation. Her prized Himalayan Birkin bag, the holy grail of fashion status, is allegedly a fake. Not a dupe, not a replica, a full-blown, high-priced counterfeit sold as the real deal. And according to her legal team, it wasn't from some shady reseller or back alley scam. This Birkin came directly from Hermes. The lawsuit reads like a luxury thriller. Perry claims she was intentionally misled, alleging Hermes knowingly passed off a mass-produced fake as a rare handcrafted icon.
Some of Hermes products are made in China. Towels are from Fuyue in Shandong. They also make products for Chanel and IKEA. Beddings are from Yue in Shandong. Men's shoes are from Shachi in Shandong. Tableware are from Gaochun in Jiangsu.
Think about it. The Himalayan Birkin is valued like a piece of art. Some go for over $500,000 at auction. So when a global star like Katy finds out hers might have been stitched in a Chinese sweatshop instead of a Parisian atelier, it's not just embarrassing, it's explosive. And if she's right, it could mean one thing: Hermes has been lying to all of us.
Our artisans, they need to do 4 years of training to be able to manufacture a Kelly bag. This that you've just seen, the perlage, you need to be very skilled and very, very good.
The Himalayan Birkin isn't just a handbag, it's the holy grail of fashion. Crafted from albino Nile crocodile hide and dyed in a gradient meant to mimic the snow-dusted peaks of the Himalayas, it's so rare and so exclusive that even billionaires need to qualify for the privilege of buying one. This isn't something you just walk into a store and purchase. You have to build a history with Hermes, spend hundreds of thousands on scarves, belts, and accessories before they even consider offering you one.
You know, you walk into Hermes and say, hey, I want to buy one of these. You know what they say to you? No, we don't have them. First of all, you have to be Hermes customers. You have to demonstrate that you like the brand. And then you can only buy one per year.
And even then, you're still lucky to get the call. Katy Perry's version was reportedly one of the rarest ever made. A bespoke Himalayan Birkin valued at $800,000, customized down to the stitching. She was seen flaunting it at award shows, luxury events, and even in behind-the-scenes fashion shoots. It was her trophy, her fashion crown, and it became one of the most talked-about pieces in her collection. But the entire time she was showing it off, smiling for cameras, and posting it on social media, she had no idea that she was holding a ticking time bomb. Everything changed when an offhand comment was made by another celebrity stylist at an after party. They pointed out a minor irregularity in the handle curvature, something only someone with serious Birkin experience would catch.
She put the finishing touches on a Kelly, the most difficult bag to build. It starts with 30 distinct cuts of leather and can take 20 hours to complete, 4 hours for just the handle. There are no manuals or cheat sheets. Artisans rely on their training and muscle memory to make every bag.
That tiny observation sparked a full investigation. Katy's team sent the bag for forensic level authentication, expecting a quick confirmation. Instead, what they got was a chilling revelation. The bag wasn't manufactured in France at all. The serial coding, the grain texture, and a microscopic examination of the thread exposed something Hermes never wanted the world to know. The bag was traced back to a Chinese subcontractor that had produced both high-end replicas and official Hermes inventory. story. That wasn't a rumor. That was a fact backed by forensic testing. Katy had been sold a dream, and she was ready to go to war over it.
Who is the Chinese supplier behind product? Bags are from Siton Handbag in Dongguan City, Guangdong Province. It's a factory specializing in handbags for 54 years. And it produces 80% of the world luxury bags.
It all started with a single raised eyebrow. According to insiders, Katy Perry wasn't the first to question her bag's authenticity. It was another A-lister who casually dropped a bombshell during a private dinner in Malibu. They noticed the handles on Katy's Himalayan Birkin didn't match the grain pattern typical of Hermès' French atelier. That tiny detail, it lit a fire under Katy. Days later, her team quietly sent the bag to one of the most elite third-party luxury authentication labs in the country, a service used by billionaires, not bargain hunters. What came back was damning. The leather, while high quality, wasn't processed using Hermès' signature tanning method. The stitching, though impeccable, didn't match the exact angle and spacing of true Himalayan Birkins. But the smoking gun, a hidden internal tag, the kind manufacturers embed for logistics, traced directly to a massive subcontractor in southern China. That factory wasn't just known for making dupes. It was known for making both the dupes and the real thing.
He started making his boots in China, and that is these boots right here. This is pretty much the UGG boot that like most Americans will have in their house. I was very pissed off when I found out the truth because I grew up in Southern California. I remember being in elementary school when I would only see 2 people in the entire school wearing UGG boots, and they were always the cool surfer kid.
Meaning Katy's Birkin might have been born in the exact same building as a $500 replica. Her reaction? Furious. Sources say she immediately contacted her legal team and demanded an investigation into how a bag sold as an ultra-rare masterpiece ended up sharing DNA with counterfeits. What she uncovered next shattered not just her trust in Hermès, but the entire luxury industry. For decades, Hermès has sold a fantasy and the image of master artisans in quiet French workshops, handcrafting bags with centuries-old techniques passed down like sacred scripture. But what Katy Perry uncovered unraveled that myth in seconds.
So I have let go a lot of kind of the, you know, intense competition part of it. Because I've had to in some ways because it became unhealthy.
Behind the velvet curtain was a reality far less romantic. Her lawyers traced her bag's components through a network of global suppliers, and what they found was shocking. Over 80% of the manufacturing was done outside France, with key stages of assembly, stitching, and even leather treatment handled by third-party factories in China. These weren't unauthorized dupes. These were actual contracted factories used by Hermes and other luxury giants. The scam? Hermes allegedly flies nearly finished bags into France, adds a logo or a button, and then legally labels them made in France. It's not illegal, it's strategic. The French label boosts status, boosts price, and boosts the illusion. And this wasn't just some internet conspiracy. Tanner Leatherstein, the infamous leather expert who's made a career slicing luxury bags in half on camera, had already exposed this exact playbook. Katy's lawsuit simply cracked it wide open for the world to see.
Unbox my latest Hermes bag with me. This is my first bag I got this year. I usually get one bag a year, and this is the one for this year. And I'm really excited about it.
Turns out the difference between a $600 bag and a $60,000 one might just be a passport stamp. And for a brand like Hermes, that revelation wasn't just embarrassing, it was brand suicide in slow motion. Katy Perry didn't just send a demand letter and walk away. She came out swinging. The official lawsuit filed in Los Angeles Superior Court alleges fraud, breach of trust, emotional distress, and, most damning, willful brand deception. The $800,000 figure isn't random. That's what experts estimated her Himalayan Birkin was worth based on rarity, exclusivity, and Hermes' own marketing. Now, it's worth pennies in reputation. Her legal team claims Hermes sold her a lie, packaging a luxury illusion in crocodile skin and slapping on a French label to justify the obscene price. And Katy's not holding back. The lawsuit demands not just compensation, but transparency. Her team is calling for Hermes to publicly disclose how many bags are produced using outsourced labor, and whether customers are knowingly purchasing items built overseas. For the first time, a celebrity isn't just part of the fashion machine, she's throwing a wrench in it. Sources say Katy feels personally duped and professionally humiliated. She was photographed with that bag at events, featured in campaigns, and even referenced it in interviews. To find out it's essentially a glorified counterfeit. That's not just a bad purchase, that's a brand betrayal. And if she's been misled, how many others in Hollywood have been too? Her lawsuit just cracked the first domino. Once Katy Perry's lawsuit hit the headlines, Hollywood's elite went into full panic mode. Behind closed doors, celebrity stylists and high-profile collectors began scrambling to authenticate their own prized bags. One A-lister reportedly canceled a planned Hermes campaign appearance. Another quietly pulled several Birkin bags from a public auction. Why? Because if Katy's $800,000 Himalayan was fake and bought through official Hermes channels, then no one was safe. Luxury resellers saw the fallout instantly. Birkin listings began to dry up, prices started dipping, confidence shattered overnight. The resale world, which once treated Hermes as untouchable, was now questioning every seam, every stitch, every made in France stamp. Even influencers started pulling back. TikTok unboxings featuring $20,000 bags suddenly stopped. Instagram fashionistas went radio silent. No one wanted to be the next face of fake. And it didn't stop at Hermes. Other brands began catching stray bullets. Chanel, Louis Vuitton, even Dior, all known to outsource, were dragged into the firestorm. Whispers about French-made bags being stitched in Asia resurfaced, now backed by a celebrity legal case that was impossible to ignore. Katy Perry had accidentally become the face of luxury accountability, and the industry wasn't ready. The message was clear. If they can sell her a fake, what are they selling you? When the world's eyes turned toward Hermes, the brand had a choice: own up or lawyer up. They chose the latter. Within days of Katy Perry's lawsuit going public, Hermes issued a cold, calculated statement denying all wrongdoing. In classic corporate fashion, they framed the issue as a misunderstanding and insisted that all their products undergo rigorous quality control in France. Not once did they address the actual claims: the outsourcing, the fake origin tags, the subcontracted labor. Instead, they doubled down on the illusion. But then came the twist. Hermes filed a counterclaim. Yes, they're accusing Katy Perry of defamation and brand damage, essentially calling her lawsuit a publicity stunt. Legal analysts were stunned. Instead of addressing the authenticity concerns or producing transparent supply chain records, Hermes went full attack mode, trying to silence the biggest celebrity voice questioning their legacy. The backlash was instant. Fashion watchdogs, ethical sourcing advocates, and even luxury collectors called the move tone-deaf, arrogant, and self-destructive. One viral tweet summed it up perfectly. You don't sue Katy Perry because your fake bag scam got exposed. You apologize and clean house. But Hermes isn't backing down. They're betting on silence, intimidation, and the hope that public memory fades fast. Unfortunately for them, this isn't 1995. It's 2025, and the internet never forgets. Katy Perry's lawsuit didn't just shake a brand, it cracked the glass castle of an entire industry built on mystique and marketing. Hermes, once regarded as the untouchable symbol of elite craftsmanship, now finds itself at the center of a reckoning. The Himalayan Birkin wasn't just a bag, it was the bag, a status symbol for royalty, moguls, and red carpet royalty. But now, thanks to one celebrity's courage to call out the lie, the world is realizing that luxury, as we've been sold, might be nothing more than a very expensive illusion. If Hermes can pass off a high-end fake to Katy Perry, someone with insider access, elite connections, and the money to buy the realest of the real, then what does that say about the rest of us? This wasn't a slip-up, this was a system, a machine that operates on perception, prestige, and silence. Made in France used to mean something. Now, it might just mean final button stitched in Paris after 95% of labor was done in Guangzhou. Collectors are shaken, resellers are panicking, authenticators are overloaded, and the ripple effects are spreading fast. Other luxury giants, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Prada, are being dragged into the spotlight as consumers demand to know the truth. Where are our bags really made? Are we buying craftsmanship or just clever branding? The damage isn't just financial, it's emotional. The trust is broken, the fantasy is unraveling, and the luxury empire, it's no longer untouchable. Katy Perry lit the match. Now the whole industry is feeling the heat, because when one bag worth $800,000 is proven to be a fraud, suddenly every label starts to look suspicious. Once Katy Perry's lawsuit made global headlines, the luxury industry didn't just freeze, It fractured. What started as one celebrity exposing one bag morphed into a full-scale identity crisis. Hermes insiders began leaking anonymous statements to the press. Some suggested this wasn't the first time a high-profile client received a questionable piece. Others hinted at internal audits being launched behind closed doors. The fear that Katy's lawsuit would open the floodgates for more celebrity complaints, class action suits, or worse. A government investigation into luxury fraud. Competing brands smelled blood in the water. Quietly, marketing executives at rival fashion houses began distancing themselves from the same Chinese factories they'd been using for years. Everyone was doing damage control, even if their hands weren't clean. Former employees started coming forward with receipts. Resale platforms began pulling questionable Birkins from their sites. And Hermes, they stopped just defending themselves. They started turning on their own supply chain. The chaos wasn't just legal, it was philosophical. Fashion editors who once bowed at the altar of French heritage began questioning everything. Influencers who made their careers unboxing luxury hauls began pulling content or issuing vague transparency statements. One major fashion publication even postponed its Birkin-themed cover story indefinitely. The industry that once moved in lockstep, polished, and proud now looked disoriented and exposed. The armor of prestige had cracked, loyalty was out, liability was in, and as brands scrambled to rewrite their narratives, one fact echoed louder than ever: when the illusion breaks, the machine turns on itself to survive. So here we are, standing in the fallout of a scandal that's bigger than just one bag or one celebrity. Katy Perry didn't just sue Hermes. She cracked open the golden gates of the luxury fashion world and showed us what's really inside. Outsourced labor, inflated price tags, and a carefully marketed illusion dressed up as exclusivity. For years, we were told that a bag like the Himalayan Birkin was the pinnacle of status. Something so rare, so sacred, it was practically art. But now we know, even that crown jewel can be faked, mislabeled, and sold for nearly $1 million to someone as high profile as Katy herself. And that's what stings the most. If she can be lied to, who's safe? This wasn't just some backdoor deal or black market mishap. This was a direct hit to the core of what luxury claims to be. The truth is, most of us weren't buying bags. We were buying prestige. We were buying validation. We were buying into the fantasy that a label meant something. But Katy's lawsuit proved what leather experts and industry insiders have whispered for years. It's all smoke and mirrors. The label says made in France, but the stitches say Shenzhen. Now the world's watching. Celebrities are quietly panicking. Resellers are recalculating, and consumers, they're waking up. If the illusion is this fragile, maybe it was never real in the first place. So what about you? Would you still pay $30,000 for a Hermes knowing it might have been built in the same factory as a $500 dupe? Sound off in the comments. Smash that like button if this made you question everything. Subscribe for more truth bombs, because this was just the beginning. The next expose, it's going to be even uglier.